What if one of the most researched supplements in sport nutrition, creatine monohydrate, could actually help improve memory, boost brain energy, and maybe even slow down Alzheimer's disease? Well, a brand spanking new 2025 study just tested that question. And while it's early, the results are promising enough to shake the medical community and possibly your medicine cabinet. It was significant enough to share it with you today on the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Welcome to the Personalized Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, president of Personalized Fitness. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions about this episode or want to learn more about how we help people just like you break the myth of age-related decline, you can reach us at personaledgefitness.com. Call us at 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. Or hit me up directly on social media. I'm at Team PE, at Team PE on X. We're on Facebook at Personalized Fitness and, of course, Instagram. Let's get into this because this is pretty exciting. Could creatine help the brain heal from Alzheimer's? A 2025 pilot study from the University of Kansas did something no one else had done before. It gave 20 patients with diagnosed Alzheimer's 20 grams of creatine monohydrate. They did this now. They did it for every day for 8 weeks. And the goal was to see if creatine, a supplement best known for building muscle, could do something more profound, help restore cognitive function and brain energy in people whose brain cells were under siege. This wasn't wishful thinking now. Prior animal studies had already shown that creatine improved energy metabolism, reduced harmful brain proteins, and even improved cognitive performance. But this was the first human test, and it was done with real Alzheimer's patients. Well, here's what happens. The compliance was really high. If you study these, reviewing these studies, this was amazing. 19 of the 20 participants took their creatine consistently, which is really big in older populations. Brain creatine levels increased by 11%, and this was measured directly via MRS brain imaging. Cognitive scores improved on several key tests, including working memory, attention, and reading recognition. Even better, participants didn't just hold steady during the 8-week study, they improved. And that's significant. And that's significant because Alzheimer's is expected to progressively decline. So no matter what, even during this 8-week period, we would expect to see some sort of decline if the disease was progressing, or the disease was actually operating like it always does. Any uptick in cognition is like watching a leaking boat suddenly plug a hole and rise slightly in the water. And let's not gloss over this. We're talking about creatine monohydrate, a supplement that costs less than $1 a day. It's widely available and it has one of the best safety profiles in all of sports nutrition. You've seen me rarely speak about different supplementation. Well, this one's been studied to the hilt. I mean, it is incredibly safe. But isn't creatine just for gym bros? Not at all. Yes, creatine is famously used to support muscle energy during intense workouts, but its true power lies in its role as an energy shuttle. Think of it like a personal Uber service for high-energy phosphate molecules. It moves energy from your mitochondria, we've talked about that before, this is the power plant of your cells, directly to where it's needed, like muscles during a sprint or brain cells during memory recall. In fact, the brain needs a lot of energy, especially under the stress of aging or neurodegeneration. And I would actually, of course, I'm leaning on neurodegeneration. If creatine helps maintain ATP levels in neurons, it may slow or even reverse some of the metabolic declines seen in Alzheimer's. All right, let me break this down. The patients were between 60 and 90 years old. All had probable Alzheimer's confirmed by brain scans and blood tests for what they call tau proteins. They took 20 grams of creatine per day. Now, they split this into 2 doses, and they did it for 8 weeks. Researchers tracked compliance, side effects, blood markers, brain imaging, and, of course, cognitive performance. Now, what do they find? First, they found that creatine levels rose in both blood and the brain, obviously, but cognition improved, especially in working memory and reading. There were no major side effects. There were mild issues like cramping and digestive upset, but it all faded with time. And that's very common in any time you introduce something new to the system. One test in particular, oral reading recognition, had one of the biggest improvements, and it also showed the strongest link to rising brain creatine levels. So what's the catch? Well, it's a pilot study. That means it was small. Just 20 people were involved. It had no placebo or control group and lasted only 8 weeks. So while the findings were exciting, they're exciting enough for me to do a podcast on it, we can't yet say definitely that creatine treats Alzheimer's. What we can say is that it's feasible, safe, and worth studying further. The authors themselves, of course, urged caution, but also optimism. Larger trials are already being proposed. What does this mean for you? Well, if you're someone over 50 concerned about brain health, if you're caring for someone with early memory loss, or if you've been told decline is the biggest lie, just a part of aging, this study flips all those ideas on their head. Creatine may not just be for the bicep. It could be brain fuel. It also fits squarely into the philosophy behind the lie of age. Aging is not the enemy. The real problem is undernourished. The real problem is that fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset, especially undernourished cells in the brain. And we have early evidence that this kind of cellular biogenetics can be influenced, even in late in life. Imagine that. A simple powder you can stir into orange juice might give your neurons a little more gas in the tank. Now, should everyone with memory loss rush out and start taking creatine? Well, not necessarily. As always, talk to your physician, especially if you're on medications or have kidney concerns. But for many healthy adults, creatine monohydrate is one of the, as I said earlier, it's one of the most studied supplements out there. It's one of the most studied and safest supplements available. If you have questions about creatine, Alzheimer's, cognitive health, or any of the topics we cover, we're always happy to chat. You can reach us at personaledgefitness.com or call us at 251-278-3343. Message me directly at garrett@personaledgefitness.com. Hit me up on social media, Facebook at Personal Edge Fitness, Instagram, and at Team PE if you want to touch base with me on X. As always, thanks for listening, but also want to tell you, if you have anybody that you know of that may be suffering for this or working with somebody that's suffering for this, please share this video. I mean, enhancing brain health and actually doing anything we can to attack the scourge of Alzheimer's. Just one more way we at Personal Age Fitness help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.